Enlisting sufficient crews for the long voyage from the Golden Gate to Shanghai was a problem that was not always solved by legal methods. Since such unfortunate men were literally sent to Shanghai, the term Shanghaied came into our language. Masters of this dirty business were called, appropriately, crimps, which means a low cur. Their business began flourishing in San Francisco about 1852. It was not unusual to find dead men washed ashore from San Francisco Bay. But what my deputy Shab found early on the morning of March 30th, 1853, was most unusual. A woman.
See what she's wearing?
Looks like a burial shroud to me.
Me too.
Let's get her down to the morgue.
The Californians.
California, I've come to live where life is best. In the Golden West, I'm gonna strike it rich in California. California.
You swindlers, you shad-bellied wharf rats! I'll clear the water of you!
What's going on here?
You keep out of this.
What did you give this man to drink?
Nothing. He didn't even have a beer. He come in here looking for somebody named Alfie. And when I kept telling him I didn't know nobody named Alfie, he just went plumb loco.
You're lying, you scud. Alfie brung me into your place to work his dirty deal. A couple of nights ago, we sat right over there.
I don't know every bloke that comes in the place. He sure done a lot of damage.
Well, let me know how much. Come on, sailor.
Sailor? I'm the master of my own vessel, the Marjorie Belle. I got the license to prove it. And who are you to be ordering me about?
I'm the Marshal of San Francisco, and I've got the brig to prove it. Now simmer down and come along peaceful. Will you tell me how you met Alfie?
I'm telling you. I'd run out of places to go look for hiring sailors when this sharp-toothed Alfie swindler eases up alongside of me and straight as a deck beam invites me into a saloon. Allows us how he can furnish the seamen I need. 3 able bodies, he promised me.
You knew the men he'd supply would be Shanghai, didn't you?
Mate, I had to catch the tide for Hong Kong. I couldn't be particular about where or how he got them.
Go ahead.
Well, it was about midnight when Alfie rode up alongside the Marjorie Belle with his cargo. 3 of them, wrapped in blankets, out cold. I gave that oily snake $300 a head for him.
Which you would deduct from their pay anyway.
Well, Marshal, that's business. Anyway, I was ready to up anchor and sail on the tide when my first mate shows me the pigs in a poke I'd bought and paid for. Why, there was only one of them fit to be called a sailor man. T'other was a crippled up old landlubber that wouldn't have lasted a week at sea. Do you know what was in that third bundle? A dead woman, Marshal. A female corpse. Why, I'd never been so buckerstoppled in my life.
What did you do with that woman's body?
Do? I quick heaved her overside into the bay. That's what I did.
Early this morning?
'Fore dawn it was. Then I went ashore to find that Alfie and coil his rope for him. And when those bilge scrapers and that slop chute told me they didn't know nobody by the name of Alfie, well, the temper got the best of me, that's all.
Well, that temper is going to cost you $700, Captain.
And I got to stay in this landlocked brig till I pay it, huh? Well, I ain't got that much on me. You'll have to see my first mate aboard the Marjorie Belle. He'll settle it.
When he does, we'll unlock the door. Shab, send a man out to the Marjorie Belle and have him pick up that money from the first mate.
Shanghaiing a corpse. How do you like that?
I don't. It's about time I had a good close look at this Shanghaiing business.
That ain't gonna be easy. You know, there's no law to keep sailors from coming ashore and drinking themselves silly.
I know that. But when even the dead aren't safe, the living are in pretty grave danger, I'd say. Look, Shab, nose around and see what you can find out about this Alfie fella.
You got an idea?
Maybe. Who would you say is the biggest ship owner in San Francisco? Marcel Dupas?
Oh, sure. Must own 15, 20 clipper ships.
That's the man I'm going to have a talk with. Mr. Dupas, I'd like to talk to you for a minute, please. Privately, if you don't mind.
Deal me out.
I'll get right to the point. How do you get the crews for your ships?
Oh, I leave that problem to my shipmasters. And it's quite a problem, believe me.
Do you condone the way that problem is solved?
Meaning what?
Shanghaiing.
As I told you, I leave the procurement of crews to my captains. I know nothing of the details.
Shanghaiing has become more than a detail, sir.
Marshal, there must be more than enough crime this side of the waterfront to keep you occupied. Respect the judgment of a sound businessman. Ships can't sail without crews.
And it doesn't matter how those crews are procured, is that it? Even if your silent partners are stealing and selling dead bodies?
You're talking sheer nonsense.
Am I? Well, Mr. Dupas, let me tell you. As long as people are drugged, assaulted, kidnapped, and killed, to supply your ships with crews, it's my business, and I intend to put a stop to it. No matter who it involves. Even you.
Mr. Wayne, play Marshal of San Francisco to your heart's content. But don't interfere with those who help keep our clipper ships sailing.
Is that a warning?
Advice. And you'll get the same from every ship owner between here and Boston.
Elsie, you know a man named Alfie?
Alfie who?
Well, we don't know his last name, but the marshal wants to have a kind of a talk with him.
I heard a lot of fellas called Alfie, Mr. Shab. Maybe if you told me what he looked like, I could help.
It's just it, we don't know.
Where's Lottie? Lottie, the marshal's looking for me. I just heard one of his deputies over at Elsie's saloon asking about me.
So what?
That ain't all. On the way over here, I heard that Captain Rutland didn't sail. He come back ashore mad as an hornet about the 3 we palmed off on the Marjorie Belle.
How many times have I told you not to make deliveries until just before they weigh anchor?
I thought they was.
You thought. You can't think with anything but a blackjack or a knife. Where's Rutland now?
The marshal's locked him up for wrecking a saloon. And now the marshal's looking for me. And it's all your fault, Lottie.
My fault that you're stupid.
It was your idea to steal that stiff to make up the quota for Rutland.
That's right, and it was a good idea until you lost your head, stealing a woman's body.
It was the only one there.
Too bad.
I don't like it. I've heard all about this new marshal, and nobody fixes him.
Is Rutland still in jail?
That's right.
He's the one I've got to calm down. I'll supply him another sailor for nothing.
It ain't Rutland.
We'll give him to Rutland. Bring him in.
You're the ones. When I get back, you know what I find? My print shop's lost. Everything's lost because of what you done to me.
What's he talking about? Who is this person?
Don't try to pretend that you ain't the ones that shanghaied me onto that ship. 9 months I've been away because of what you did to me.
You got your sailor's pay?
Sailor's pay? I lost my print shop. That's what I got out of it.
What do you want from us?
I'll tell you what I want, Miss Lottie Goth. I want paid in cash all that you and him done me out of. That's what I want.
You must be out of your mind.
I For 9 long months, I near went daffy on that filthy ship. Now, hear me good, you two. Either you make good for all I've been done out of, or I'm going to the law.
The law. That's rich.
You didn't Shanghai a sailor when you tricked me. You kidnapped a shopkeeper. That's what you did.
I'm sick of the sound of your voice, mister.
I came here to collect, and I aim to do it.
Eddie!
What are you going to do to me? Get it!
Get rid of him. This time, be sure the Marjorie Belle is ready to weigh anchor before you deliver him.
According to Johnson, the harpoon maker, this Alfie is a runner working for Lottie Goth.
Lottie? A woman, Crimp?
And from what I hear, quite a woman. She runs a boarding house that caters to sailors.
A woman, Crimp? Well, this is where she lives, huh?
Just off Van Ness. Oh, I wouldn't bank on even a female crimp talking to a man wearing a badge.
Well, I'll leave it here.
Well, come on in, honey.
Thank you, ma'am.
What's your name, sailor?
Jamie. Are you Miss Lottie Goth?
I am.
You are? Well, they told me I might get room and board here.
You sure can. What's your ship, Jamie?
I don't have a ship right now. Well, I'm giving up the sea.
You gonna settle in San Francisco?
I'll be here for a couple of days, and then I'm heading for the diggings. I'm going to be prospecting for gold.
You'll find more gold here than you will in the mountains. How about a drink, Jamie?
Sure. Nice place you got here.
What kind of ship were you on?
A whaler.
Very interesting hardline.
Oh, you read palms.
Enough to learn what I want about a man.
What did you learn about me?
That you're very shy with women.
Yeah, well, maybe at first.
Think it would take you very long to like me a little?
Well, you sure have a way of making a man feel awful comfortable.
I try. You can have the nicest room in the house. Eddie will show you around.
Take long with this one.
A whaler, he said. We'll see he learns to be one.
ship from my arm.
You're not on a ship. This is Lottie Goth's basement.
Lottie Goth. Alfie.
Well, what have I done to put such a long face on you?
Don't be flip with me, Lottie. You've been very foolish.
Oh?
Stealing a body from a mortuary, delivering it to a ship, and actually taking money for it? That was more than foolish. It was stupid.
It wasn't one of your captains who was tricked.
It makes no difference. It's Ryle, the new marshal. He's suddenly taken too big an interest in how crews are procured.
Buy him off?
That won't work with Matt Wayne. He's not the kind you can bribe.
You mean San Francisco has a public official who can't be bribed? That'll be the day.
You'll have nothing to laugh about if he finds out how you and Alfie operate.
Then what do you suggest we do, Mr. Dupar?
We? I suggest you close down till Matt Wayne's interest in shanghaiing cools off.
Close down?
Stop operating for a few weeks.
And will you pay me for the business that I lose in the meantime?
I'm giving you advice worth more than a few weeks' business, Lottie.
Look, Mr. Dupar, I don't supply your ships exclusively. I've built up a large clientele. I'm not going to lose them because this new marshal has thrown you into a panic.
It's because I don't want to lose your services that I'm giving you this advice, Lottie. I think Matt Wayne will be calling on you, and for one purpose, to close you up permanently.
Oh, I don't think you and the other ship owners would let him do that. What does this righteous peace officer of yours look like?
Oh, handsome man, according to women. Tall, over 6 feet. Blue eyes, rather light complected.
Oh, excuse me, but I was just thinking, it would be funny, wouldn't it?
What?
A very handsome man, just as you described, came to see me earlier today. He was dressed like a sailor, but he didn't have the hands of a seaman fresh off of a whaler. I got suspicious, so I dumped him. I wouldn't be surprised if what your honest marshal is lying in my basement right now, Mr. Dupar. Would you like to know what I'm going to do with him?
No, I don't want to know anything about it. And you, forget I paid you this visit.
Drop in any time, Mr. Dupar. Alfie, come down here. Where's Eddie?
Upstairs sleeping.
Well, wake him up. You're gonna need him to help you. I want to get rid of those two in the basement.
It ain't dark yet, Lottie.
It will be in a half an hour. Take the one with the whiskers to the Marjorie Bell. That ought to square us with Rutland.
How about the other one? I hear the Lady Beth can use another hand, and the captain will pay 400.
No. This one makes a one-way trip to the bottom of the bay, with enough chain on his feet to keep him there. It's about time San Francisco had a new marshal.
Well, your bill's all paid. You can go now, Captain.
It's about time. What took you so long?
Your first mate was ashore. Our man had to wait for him to get back before he could get the money from him.
Well, it's a costly way for a man to learn how to hold his temper. From now on, I'm gonna save it till I get someplace where there's no one to question me. Where's the marshal? Like to say goodbye. Tell him I got no hard feelings against him.
He's not here now. Matter of fact, I'm getting kind of worried about him.
Fish bait.
Let loose of him, Captain.
Let loose of him? This is the runny vermin I've been looking for. I'll kill him right now with my own bare hands.
Did you hear me? I said let loose of him.
You all right, Matt?
Well, Marshal, do you mind if I take this side of beef with me?
He's going to jail, Captain.
If it's justice you're seeking, doing the work of two men aboard the Marjorie Belle will be a lot more punishment than sweating out time in that brig of yours.
That does sound like a fitting sentence. I'll recommend it to the judge. Keep your eye on these two. I'll be back for them. Come on, Shab.
Draw that gun and you'll bury the marshal.
Drop it, Lottie.
I'm leaving here and nobody's gonna stop me.
All right. You pull that trigger, but while you're doing it, Mr. Shab is going to draw his gun and put a very ugly bullet between your pretty eyes.
I'm warning you, Marshal.
We have a policy against shooting women, but in your case, we'll make an exception. Is that clear, Mr. Shab?
That's clear.
Not very attractive odds. Are they, Lottie?
No. No, I guess not. You can't do anything to me. You've got no evidence, no witnesses, nothing.
That's a bad bet.
I've got influence in this town. I keep the clippers sailing. The ship owners aren't going to let you or anybody else convict me of shanghaiing. They need me.
You aren't going to stand trial for Shanghai.
You bet I'm not.
I'm arresting you and Alfie for murder.
You can't prove that. You can't prove anything.
I can prove enough to put an end to your career for good. Now, Shab, I suggest that you lock this beautiful lady up.
In a way, I feel kind of sorry for Lottie Goth.
Well, unfortunately, Shab, the end of Lottie Goth and Alfie doesn't mean the end of Shanghaiing in San Francisco. As long as ships need crews and there aren't enough sailors to go around, they'll be Shanghaiing.
Yeah, but not by them two, at least. Lottie will be an old woman before she gets out of prison. And Alfie will be doing his last trick on the end of a hangman's noose.
You know, I'm going to try to manage minor wounds more frequently from now on. You get such warm and pleasant attention. But, in another place. It kind of affects my dealing here at the El Dorado Club.
California. Oh, I've traveled here, I've traveled there. I guess I've been most everywhere. But I like where I am today, and here is where I'll stay. Now, one thing I just can't endure is being broke and being poor. So I come west to take the cure, and here is where I'll stay. I've come to California, California. There's gold in them there hills in California. I've come to live where life is best, in the golden west. I'm gonna strike it rich in California, California.